Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. First of all, let me thank you if you subscribe to the channel. The last couple of videos that I've put up where I covered uh, using Copic markers and how to render hair and how to render skin tone. Uh, they've been pretty popular, and the response to them have been pretty good. And we've picked up a number of new subscribers since those have gone up. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for signing up. And if you haven't signed up yet, I hope you enjoy this video and will consider doing so. And if you do enjoy this video, please hit like, hit the bell so you're notified of future videos, and leave a comment in the comment section below. If you have questions on anything that I say or suggestions, please just let me know. I love to read the comments. Okay, now you might be wondering why you're looking at this starship, and that's just here because they didn't want to start on a blank page. They didn't want to just drop you into a whole lot of whiteness. So this is just something I'm working on. This is a pencil drawing that's in the middle of being colored. It's in a very rough stage right now, so please be kind. That's just a peek at that. Okay, now here is a fresh white page, and we can get started. Now what I want to do in this video and in the next couple is take you through a couple of stages. So what I want to do is draw the head of the Archie Comics character Archie. I drew Archie professionally for 22 years. So it's a character I'm identified with often, and he's got a pretty good following. So I think a lot of people might be interested in seeing how I go about drawing him. And I'll draw him in the classic style that he appeared in for, I guess he still does appear in, for over 80 years now. Okay, so let's just dig in. So I have a blank piece of paper. I'm using a piece of Bristol paper. And Bristol is a nice heavy stock, and it will hold up to markers, a little bit of watercolor, but don't use too much water, at least not with plain 2-ply Bristol. But it'll hold up to markers and inks pretty well. Okay, so now I've got my paper. First thing I want to do is I want to draw myself a nice circle. Now, I'm using, I'm actually drawing a little bit darker than I normally would. Normally at this stage, this is what we call the underdrawing. So really, this is your foundation. And you being the artist, these lines only need to be as dark as you need them to be, as only dark enough for you to see them. I'm going a little darker than I normally would, just because I want to be sure that you guys can see this and it'll come up on camera clearly. So going in, doing, you don't have to be super precise. It's because we're really, like I said, this is a foundational shape. We're really going to be going off of this circle as we move along. Now that I have my circle down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in like a quick loose crosshairs like this. And this is the Archie equivalent of the face grid. Those of you who've taken art classes before, or figure drawing classes, you'll be familiar with what is classically known as the face grid. And that's actually something I could touch upon in another video. If you're interested in that, please let me know in the comments. For Archie, since he's a cartoony character who's not anatomically correct in a realistic way, I find that this crosshairs is enough of a grid for me. It gives me enough of a enough of a guide to go by. And notice that my crosshairs are slightly slanted, slightly bent, and I'm bending them a little bit in the direction that Archie's head is facing, and I'm having him facing slightly to the left here. Okay, now that I've drawn the crosshairs, I'm going to go in. I'm going to give him his eyes right above this line. And his eyes are these sort of half circle, half elliptical things. They're not complete circles. They're not totally round. He doesn't really have an iris, not much of an iris. He has a black pupil. And I like to give him a little sort of highlight in that black pupil in some close-ups. Okay. And now I'm getting a little darker. You don't have to go too dark, especially at this stage, because you may just be, you never know if you may need to erase. So until you're sure you're not going to erase, you probably want to keep your lines light. Okay, now right here we're at the intersection of the crosshairs. This is where Archie's nose is going to go. Now his nose is basically a letter C. Okay, sometimes people stretch out the nose too much and they make it kind of like half a peanut. Or sometimes they make it a little too squared off. I just do like a round letter C. I'm going to go in and give him his mouth. And Archie's mouth is usually pulled over to one side, more so than the other. I'm going to go with this curved line. It's going to go right into his cheek. Archie usually has a big mouth. And inside his mouth, Archie only has one giant tooth. Yeah, he just has one giant tooth shape. He doesn't have teeth. And I don't give him that little gap in the tooth. That's for 1940s Archie. He hasn't had that in decades. Now Archie's eyebrows are these sort of soft bent rectangles. And they're solidly black. So I'm just going to fill them in. Okay, so I've got Archie's face down. Now I want to shape this circle into being a more genuine Archie head. Okay, and by doing that, I'm curving it, keeping this line kind of straight, but tilting into the round head shape a little bit until I get to about that horizontal line of my grid. And then I'm coming out a bit rounded for Archie's cheek. And I'm curving down, curving around what should be Archie's chin. And I'm coming up, up, up. Right here is where I want to, let me just move things over a little bit. I want to give Archie his ear. Okay. Archie has a larger than normal ear, just because that makes him look a little goofy, and he should look goofy. Jughead, who should look even goofier, has even bigger ears. Okay, now his other ear, let me just adjust things. His other ear is just going to peek out from the other side. Okay, so I just have to draw that little bit of a shape there. Okay, now Archie needs some hair. And Archie classically has these two big tufts of hair, which are largely represented by the shadow being cast by these hairs. He doesn't have like a formal hairline like we would give most characters. Just has these big puffs of hair. Come around like this. A couple of wild strands in between the two puffs. Okay. Like that. Again, I'm going a little darker than I normally would at this stage. But I just want you guys to see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to come back around a couple of wild disconnected strands, and then that sharp curve back behind the ear. Okay. And now Archie needs, so I'm pretty happy with that. But now Archie needs two of his most trademark details. one of which is the tic-tac-toe pattern etched into the side of his head, which is supposed to be actually a buzz cut. It's supposed to represent his hair being buzzed very short. And if you look at early shots of Archie back in the 1940s, when he was drawn by the original Archie artist, Bob Montana, he really used to represent that as some really fine cross-hatching. But the cross-hatching's opened up over the decades, and it's become now this sort of trademark waffle pattern. And now, sometimes people ask me what that is, and now you know. Okay, Archie's other trademark, his freckles. And Archie has 3 freckles on each cheek. And in certain close-ups, I'll give him 2 above the nose. 3 freckles on each cheek. And he's looking almost there. The thing I want to do, just so his head isn't floating in space, I'm going to give him a little bit of a neck. Be careful you don't give Archie too thin of a neck, because then he ends up looking like a funny stop sign or a weird lollipop. I'm going to give him a shirt collar. And that's going to wrap it up for Archie. Okay, so we have, this is what Archie is going to look like at this stage. He's nice, tightly penciled. What I'm going to do in my next video is I'm going to add color to this Archie head. So be on the lookout for that one. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that bell, and you'll be notified when the next video goes up. I'm hoping to put it up in the next couple of days, if I get the chance. So my intention, my plan right now is to do a video where I add color, and then another video where I actually ink him. So I hope you'll be back for those 2 parts, and I'll be talking some more about this whole process and what I do and why I do it. Again, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the comments below. We'll be happy to respond to any thoughts you guys might have. And if you're interested in more of my work, please check out more of my work over at FernandoRuizEverybody.com. And you'll see work that I've done in the past, my recent projects, and I also list any of my upcoming appearances there on the site. So please check that out, FernandoRuizEverybody.com. Okay, that's about it. So thanks a lot, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.